So I'm actually bored as hell tonight. Dog's still up, but he's mostly asleep. Bird is crabby. Lucas hasn't been super interesting lately. He did post another board game video thing that I haven't watched. I watched like 30 seconds into where he said, "Oh, so you roll the dice," but whatever. It's like 2 minutes long. Maybe I'll just play it here. Um, but aside from the few memes he's put out that, God, I can even look at his bald face here. But aside from those, I did kind of want to play just my all-time favorite Wern video because he clearly worked so hard on it and was trying to come off as like such a passionate, deep poet, and it's just so incredibly dim. But that's about 12-ish something minutes long. But I figured we'd just start with his few memes and that god awful board game thing he posted earlier. So the title of this particular live is the title of what he called his passionate poetry thing or whatever. The universe has an intergenerational pattern. It's honestly one of my favorite things. It's so funny. Uh, it just is. There's no other way to describe it. It's just fucking funny. So before we get to that, there's this little meme here. You can kind of see that he's nice and clean shaven, and we know Lucas doesn't know how to shave himself because he has mentioned that before. That he looks like got in a fight with a bear and cuts his face all up. So either Malin Place gave him some new razors, or he had to have somebody shave him. And hello. And I'm kind of assuming it's to have somebody shave him, because there's like photographic evidence of him like making his last girlfriend Suzanne shave him while he sat on the toilet. But this is way too clean shaven for Lucas to have done it himself. He's not that much of a big boy. So I'm gonna bore you right away with this stupid video. This is one of his game videos again, and I honestly haven't watched it yet, so I'm probably going to be we can be disappointed in the Wern together. That's all he can do is disappoint people, so let's be disappointed.
So, you roll the dice. You pick your favorite one.
Pick your favorite one.
Oh, that many spaces. It'll be a 2 to 4 player game.
No one's ever going to play this with you. It didn't. Like, he thinks he should be getting paid.
They're going to run up on you.
At least I don't think I should be getting paid.
And when they do, they'll lose that terrain's token. So if they run up on the green, they'll lose a plains token. They run up on the dark green, they'll lose a forest token. I don't have these tokens right yet, but that's how you got to imagine it.
The background noise is more interesting.
I'm just trying to design a game.
Oh, I know. I love him sounding miserable.
Simple. Something real. Something almost a risk meets monopoly. Resources that could be stolen.
Every single one of his games lately has been, it's like Risk plus Monopoly. Like, no, it isn't. It's like neither one. Those are both actually enjoyable games to play when you have like decent people to play with. This is just bullshit garbage on an adult daycare lunch table.
Eventually you're going to just jump into the jaws of the shark. I don't have a name for this yet.
Jaws of the Shark?
It's just a game. I'm just trying to design a game. It's something to be fun.
You're not good at designing games. They're never fun. That's why you've never sold any, and that's why nobody ever wants to play with you. Your games are shit. Just give up.
2-player game that Jamie and I could play.
You just said it was a 4-player game like 30 seconds ago. God, is this almost over?
Cards are not involved in this.
Then why did you show them?
It's just a goddamn game.
No, it isn't.
Just like life. Not the game life, but real life.
You would probably fail at the game life too, to be honest.
Life. Just a game.
Okay, that's enough of that bullshit. Wow, yeah, he does sound absolutely miserable. He is absolutely miserable, which I love. It just makes me happy. So he posted this one earlier today. Keep in mind, the rumor has it that Tubby here is on a bit of a nutritionist enforced diet because he's getting fatter and fatter, and he's diabetic, and that's not great for him, and it's probably not helping his feet. So he has turned to, I wonder if his nutritionist knows, and if his Malin Place little zoo handlers know that Tubby is begging for junk food money on Instagram. Apparently somebody, I'm hoping the person who said to check his Cash App was just like fucking with him and didn't actually send him money. But Lucas, Jesus Christ, you're at least 350. You don't need junk food. You get fed 3 times a day and have snacks. And even his smile just like looks fake and crazy. Most of his shit today has been stolen memes. That Cash App one, I think, was the last real beggy one. This one, it was mentioned on the farm store that someone should make a compilation of all the times Lucas has called women bitch. I don't have the capacity or the time or the willpower to actually do that. Oh, there's a comment. Have you had a girlfriend before? Plenty. No. Somebody lying, telling me he's looking good. Lucas calls women bitches all the time. He calls them worse than that too, especially if they don't want to fuck him, and none of them want to fuck him, so they're all bitches apparently. Just like he never says racial slurs, and there's like a 2-hour compilation video of him doing nothing but being racist. Yeah, whatever. Oh, he's super mad at the healthcare system now because of his feet. Yeah, stealing memes. Yeah, so most of his memes today were stolen. He's not super interesting today. So we're going to go away from that. Oh, apparently it's still showing the tab of the Discord that I'm in. VLC. Oh, great. Thanks for unresizing my resizing. So this one he posted when he was still at Pioneer Pathway. So he still had a house. And he's got a big old MRSA sore on his face, which you can see. Hello, Walter. I just have $10. Yeah, and he'd spend that $10 being mad that he couldn't order a giant Slurpee. But this is seriously like one of my favorite Wern videos. Like, yeah, the ones where he's ranting and screaming and spitting at the camera are funny, but this one is funny for a completely different reason, because he was trying in this one to come off as this amazing intellectual. And yeah, he fails at every aspect, but it's great. Oh yeah, hopefully this will cheer you up. It could be worse. You could be related to Lucas. All right, so this one, yeah. This, I'm probably going to pause this like a million times because it's so damn funny, and he says so many ridiculous things. But the basic premise of this one is that he's doing the thing where he's justifying his age gap relationship garbage with, things in the universe are different ages. Like, different galaxies are different ages than the things contained in them. The sun is a different age than the Earth, shit like that. Yeah. So here we go with Lucas being... Was this really? Oh, I said, I should probably get back to the beginning of it. I moved it up to take a thumbnail. So yeah, just keep in mind with this, and I'm pretty sure he's reading off of a screen here, because there's no way he memorized this unless he practiced this whole speech for weeks and weeks and weeks. Yeah, I type LOL, and I, instead of using emojis, I still use old emoticons, and occasionally I get people writing back to me with what the fuck is that? It's a smiley, goddammit. Alright, Lucas's poetry.
I realize when you look into my eyes, you see the devil.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. No. Oh yeah, right. Shouldn't everything be free? We shouldn't have to work. So, looking at this one, I've never actually blown this up in VLC. His eyes look weird, weirder than usual. I don't know if this is just his shitty phone camera from the phone he had in 2019, or if he's using some kind of filter, but his eyes look almost cartoonish here. Yeah, I love that big MRSA on his face. It's amazing.
An atheist, anti-theist.
No.
One among many amongst the scientific community.
It's like, look at how fucking smug he is. He worked so hard on this, and he thinks he's doing something. He thinks he's making an amazing point here. And the smug looks, just, you want to backhand him. Yeah, if you're actually working at YouTube, it's probably going to be quality. It's not going to be something like this. Those ones from the Reddit relationships, like, there's a reason I don't go into those subreddits. I would fall down a huge... So, okay, he calls himself, or he used to call himself, an anti-theist atheist, which I guess was meant to, like, separate him from, like, agnostics or atheists who possibly believed in, like, spiritual beings. He's like an anti-God atheist. Oh, the best part is that's gel. That's LA Looks gel. I've seen the bottle. It's the green one, and I can smell it. His hair, I mean, yeah, there was that big grease spot on the wall because he actually didn't bathe half the time because it was a shared bathroom that he had to use. But his hair always looked wet because he had it in his head that the slicked back gel look was what women wanted. That is hair gel. If you look at that nasty little curl bit coming around his shoulder, just imagine how crunchy that is. Yeah, it was actually Wet Look gel, and it was LA Looks brand, because I recall I asked him about it at some point. Like, I asked him if he was using, like, pomade or something. Like, yeah, people are saying you have greasy hair. Are you, like, using pomade or what? Yeah, oh, God, why did you have to remind me of the chicken? Oh, that was so nasty. That was so nasty when he was eating that bucket of chicken on his live, and he just brushed the half-eaten chicken leg through his hair. No, he seriously did that. It's in... I don't remember the title of it, and I don't remember if it's on my channel or just on his now. But any of the lives that Lucas did, I think they're on the Wern channel, not his Lucas Werner channel. But any of the ones that have like a green cast to them, those were his lives. And there is one where he actually did rub a half-eaten, nasty fried chicken leg through his fucking hair. He was probably drunk or high at the time, but it's still gross. Yeah, most of those were before I was mirroring him. I think the only one of those Greencast lives I re-uploaded was the one where he was just like perving on Greta Thunberg and talking about how she would be 18 and legal, but either way 16 was legal, so he would date her if she wanted to. It's like, God damn, Lucas. Oh yeah, the chicken in the hair was nasty. I'm gonna have to find that and at least make a clip of it. That was nasty. Well, I'm at it. I should probably look for the one where he paused his live and then went to piss in the sink, and you could hear it because he didn't stop recording and didn't mute his phone.
You said no to me.
Yep.
You said that you weren't interested.
Right.
You were a girl. You were of legal age. And you said you weren't interested. You're a Christian. You follow love thy neighbor and love thy enemy. Like I follow Republicanism and want to become Trump, which is not at all.
You can't explain it.
But that's the thing. If I'm not your priority, I'm not your option.
You're neither.
It's an ocean out there. There are plenty of fish in the sea. I'm not worried about it. Just go and live your life. But when you go outside, the next time you go outside at night, I want you to look into the night sky.
No thanks. Oh, he would absolutely love to be Trump. He'd be rich and he'd have women. Yeah, I know. This is why this is so, he had to have practiced. It's like he had to have used the front-facing cameras at the rear-facing camera. The camera that faces you, the selfie camera. I don't know which fucking camera that is. He would have had to have practiced that in a mirror or in his phone just over and over to get the movements and he's trying to look like a fancy man, so you'll want him. Totally failing on every level, but he does a few more gestures in there and he gets more and more just passionate as he's reading it, and it's so perfectly bad.
When the stars are shining, and I want you to notice the spaces between the stars. And I want you to realize that there's a pattern here. It's not necessarily about space. It's about time. There's stars, there's planets, there's moons, there's asteroids, there's planetoids, there's galactic clouds bigger than anything you've ever seen or been involved with. There are nebulae.
I would not subject the crew of the Enterprise to this thing here. Oh yeah, past time there's fate and the dimension of fate, and yeah, I don't know what that was about either. Didn't he start that dimension of fate thing in his first college saga when he made the equation and thought he was going to make a time travel machine to win the lottery? Yeah, he's definitely reading off of something. And those pauses, they have to be him reading ahead like 4 or 5 sentences and hoping his fucking brain can remember what he was going to say. I'd like to say this gets better, but it does in the sense that it gets worse. At some point he gets really mad that when you insult lesbians, you're insulting him for something. That's probably good. And I mean, honestly, fate does not have anything good in store for Lucas. So yeah, nebulae, look, he got the nebu part right. I mean, you got to give him a failing 50% on that one.
There are galaxies, there are superclusters. These aren't just differences in space and differences in size and differences in shape and color. These are differences in time. The universe has an intergenerational pattern. So when I tell you the older men confer greater health in the children as fathers, which is confirmed by the behavior of us
Wrong.
through beetle studies as compared to human studies.
So why would he even think that beetle behavior and beetle genetics would have any bearing on anything to do with humans? But yeah, he's exceptionally gross in this one. He's got that nasty wet look gel in the big MRSA sore. His skin probably is worse than it looks, but he's just got a low quality camera. Yeah, he started claiming he doesn't want kids. He claims it's from overpopulation publicly, but privately to several people, he said it's because like nobody's interested. Yeah, he probably is right now. And he's like the universe, Lucas is expanding.
As far back as 2013. As far back as 2015, Cambridge and the University of Zurich say that younger men confer weaker DNA in their children. Teenage fathers, bad. But we know that the oocytes that develop into eggs are healthiest between the ages of 18 and 24. This is 2012.
God, Lucas, catch your brain up a little faster. Oocytes. Hey, at least he's not talking about the... Oh God, what was that thing he was putting on those posters for a while? The zygote name he made up, like the XY zygote, or the... No, wasn't he spelling it XYGOTE or something on those attraction signs? And he had like drawings of eggs and sperm and cells and shit all over it. I really hope somebody collected all of those things and just like has them somewhere.
To 2019. This year. 2 days before my 40th birthday, in my 8th year of being single. 140.
Like that little rage pause there when he stopped to bite his lip after he said 8 years of being single and almost turning 40. That was great. In 2012, how the fuck old am I now? I'll be 43 this year. That was however many years ago. I don't have a calculator up. I'm bad at math. Lucas being single is... Oh, those sperm drawings are great. The ones where you just the cell and the egg and the sperm. It's like, what are you doing, man? And then he writes in different colored markers like he's in middle school and thinks like an adult woman. Well, actually, he's probably after a child, but you know.
pounds lost.
VLC, knock it off.
Improved behavior, where now everybody thinks I'm a Christian.
No, they don't.
If you see a misogynist when you're looking in these eyes,
oh, this was the misogynist phase. This was the misogynist phase. He said misogynist for almost 6 months straight, and people would correct him in text comments, and eventually he got sick of people making fun of him, and he corrected his pronunciation. But I don't believe for 1 second anyone believed he was Christian either. I think this was also in that phase where he was trying their tactic of showing up at church and hoping the honeys would flock to him in the back pew. Hi, puppy.
looking in these eyes, you're looking at yourself. You're seeing religion and cultural conformity and the patriarchy telling you that I'm the bad guy.
You sound kind of like a misogynist.
You're seeing religion. You're seeing your own hate at yourself. When you're calling me an idiot, you're talking to yourself. When you're calling me a misogynist, you're calling yourself a misogynist.
He thinks misandry exists.
I agree with you. There's a lot of misogyny in this world. But the misogynists are the accepted men.
God, it's so amazing. He's just so trying to hide it under being passionate and intelligent, and he so desperately wants to be seen as smart. He went through that phase, that I'm rubber, you're glue. That was a phase for him around this time too. He also has a ton of 6 to 15 second videos up where he was really mad about people disliking his videos. And he would say, click the dislike button if you really like my videos or if you're gay. And it's okay. And people still disliked his videos, and he was honestly confused about that because he ranted to me in DMs about that a few times too. That he's everyone dislikes my videos, and he puts up all these videos of, well, if you click dislike, it means you like my video, so then I win. And that was a phase for a while. Rage Lucas is great. This type of Rage Lucas, I think, is honestly funnier. Is honestly funnier than him just screaming at the camera. You should post that.
For the most part, the religious, the Christians, the typical male, the football players, the jocks, the politicians.
You can tell he was bullied in high school by jocks, at least during this phase, by how many times he calls them flat bills now, but before it was the jocks, and he always identified himself as a quote-unquote nerd. He was more like special ed.
The men in power, the CEOs, the billions of dollars that control your viewpoint through television, radio, and the internet. These are the misogynists. These are the narcissists.
Misogynists.
When you look at me, if you see the devil, you're seeing yourself.
Nobody sees the devil when they look at him. They just see a fat, smelly pedophile. Dude, settle down. Yeah, no, you're not. So, yeah, Lucas is just kind of nuts in this one.
When you look at me, you see a Christian woman. But when you look at me, you see an anti-theist man. But when you look at me, you see an anti-theist man. Look at the spaces. Look at the time period. When you look at me, you see an anti-theist man. Look at the spaces. Look at the time period. When you look at me, you see an anti-theist man. Look at the spaces. Galaxies. Look at the time fluctuations. Alpha radiation. All these things occurred at different points in time. The universe has an intergenerational pattern. So when they say that women between the ages of 18 and 24 are the most fertile, and you know that young women are the most fertile. And
Lucas can come back when Lucas decides he doesn't want to spam.
I say that older men are the most fertile between the ages of the late 30s and early 50s, as confirmed by Dan Eisenberg of the University of Washington since 2012 to 2019. Chris Kazawa from the Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois.
In Evanston, Illinois. He's just, and these, I know Dan Eisenberg, and I can't remember the Rotten Lettuce dude, but at least two of these authors have like publicly said that Lucas is misunderstanding the abstracts that he read, and that he's just flat out incorrect.
If you want a Christian woman, what you got to do is practice self-abnegation eternally. But if you want an atheist chick, you have to believe in yourself, they say. No. What you need is doubt. Doubt is my friend. Self-doubt, doubt of others, doubt of all claims, including the paternal aging effect of 1912. Doubt that I'm a misogynist. Doubt that
He said misogynist right there. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what word he was trying to say. I don't even know what he's talking about here, but yeah, he's not doubting anything. He cherry picks everything. Yeah, the Rotten Lettuce guy was one of my favorites.
I'm a narcissist. Doubt that I'm an empath. All these things I doubt. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't.
Oh, this was also in the phase when he thought he was an empath. Every now and then the empath thing comes up again, but for the most part he's let it go. He's pretty much just been called a narcissist till he gives up.
Have this face if I had belief. You know the stares of the Nazis, the blank stares as they proclaim themselves to be hypocrites and misogynists, which gets them laid by hot young Christian chicks. You know
Nazis are getting laid by hot young Christian chicks? Okay.
know this. You know the racist look. You know the homophobic look. You know the blank stare of the conservative Christian. What you see is me.
So, I don't think he realizes it, but he just called himself a Nazi and a conservative Christian right there. But sure. The Rotten Lettuce joke was allegedly the author of one of the papers Lucas was posting about on Twitter came back and said something to the effect of, that's not how telomeres work. You know, if you wrap up rotten lettuce in plastic wrap, it's still rotten lettuce. And then he got mad. Yeah, that's not even really fair to Lovecraft. Like, at least those nightmares were interesting. Lucas would just probably put those off, too.
I am not a misogynist. Many of my friends belong to the gay community and are lesbians. You insult them when you insult me.
You heard him. If you insult Lucas, you are insulting lesbians. Somehow. I don't know how he thought that worked, but I guess if you insult Lucas, you're insulting lesbians.
But the universe has an intergenerational pattern. If you want evidence, watch my videos.
He says that a lot, and he never actually provides any evidence of anything, and when you ask him to, he tries to change the subject, or he starts, like, ghosting you.
I'm not playing around here. You are.
Okay.
But I don't mind if you laugh, because I'm a funny guy.
Not really.
But I'm a seriously funny guy.
No.
If you embrace violence, you are a child. If you don't embrace the fact that you might have some hypocritical tendencies, if you don't see the fact that I've worked on my hypocritical tendencies for a long time, for 40 years, and you come at me with ad hominem attacks, you're...
Ad hominem attacks? That was his other big boy word that he couldn't pronounce that he used a lot during this time, too. I don't think he knows what it means. Lucas is definitely hilarious. He's just not hilarious in the way that he thinks he is or wants to be.
Not my chick.
Yeah, nobody's
Because when I see an atheist, I see joy and kindness and respect. When I see an anti-theist, I see someone who is the same as an atheist, but demands evidence in all things. I see a like mind.
Yeah, that sore on his chin is something else.
Demand evidence in all things. And leave the ad hominem attacks alone, or you're going to get what you give. Didn't Christ say that? You will reap what you sow, said the Bible? Didn't the Jews
Didn't Christ say you get what you give? I think that was the New Radicals, actually, but okay.
say that? anything you give me, I'm going to give you back in spades. So if you tear into me, I'm going to tear into you.
When? Like, when is he going to tear into anybody? I think he actually does have a video on that channel, Walter, where he brags about apparently tearing you a new one, and he didn't actually do anything in the video.
And it's going to be even harsher. If you're a hate watcher.
Yeah, he didn't even do a video chat. Didn't even do a phone call with the alleged 19-year-old Mia, despite him, by that point, having just demanded video calls of everyone. He didn't even ask for, like, a phone call with Mia.
Watch out. Because within public community, stopping you is as easy as my doubt.
No, it isn't. If it was as easy as his doubt, why the hell haven't we stopped? Why is this chat going? Why are y'all here?
Call me a schizo. I'll call you white trash.
Those are two different things, but okay. Call him a schizo and he'll call you white trash, so, brace yourself.
Call me anything. I'll just say no. Incorrect. Okay. Say I'm Hitler. I'll call you an age phobe.
Those are, again, like two wildly different things. If you're calling someone Hitler, there's a lot of, there's probably not, you might just be on Xbox Live, but there's some implications behind calling someone Hitler, and then what he's saying he's going to rebut that with, it's completely different. Yeah. Well, he thought friendship was a magic word that would get women to just jump on his dick, and that didn't work. Lucas, I'm pretty sure Lucas would just like piss himself and start crying if he ever actually confronted anyone face to face. He might yell a little bit like he did in that parking lot boxing video, but for the most part, he would probably just like sit down, piss himself, and start crying.
It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you give me, I will give you back. Many-fold.
Okay, do it.
If I'm a misogynist, you need to explain my support of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and Andrew Yang, because these men...
Those two things are not related. I do like the misogynist phase. How do you get to be that old to be a native English speaker and think it's misogynist?
And want women to be in power more often. How would I know about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar?
Through Twitter and news sites, perhaps? Or by paying attention to politics? Yeah, he claims he noticed the lap infant. It's not in the cards, Werner. And it just didn't cross his mind that was a problem.
How would I know about Ayaan Hirsi Ali? Do you know these women?
Yes.
No, you do not. Would these women call me a misogynist? No, they would not.
Probably.
Come down to earth. Watch my Facebook, Olympia Atheist. I won't accept your friend request unless we have mutual friends. If I suspect you of trolling me, I'm going to send you to my Patreon. Pay me to believe you. I still won't believe you, but at least I'll have your money.
He, I think, made actually, I know he made at least $15 on Patreon because I paid for the $15 tier to steal all his videos and make a compilation of them.
Patreon.com/the Wern.
Oh yeah, any of those people that he mentioned, including Bernie Sanders, his weird godlike figure, all of those people would be just completely put off by him. If he got to a meet and greet or something, they'd probably shake his hand and smile for a picture, but the minute he started talking, they would have security on him. Yeah, his Patreon videos, some of them were just boring. It was there was one that was just a video of a taco salad that he was talking over. But there were some of them, he was mad. All of his Patreon videos, because he didn't know how to do it otherwise, but all of his Patreon videos were just unlisted YouTube videos. Yeah, Bernie Sanders isn't poor either. I think he thinks Bernie Sanders lives in a van down by the Potomac or something.
My friends are women. Most of my friends wouldn't say that I am a misogynist. Otherwise, why would they be my friends?
So this is where he sincerely believes he has friends. I'm one of those quote unquote women that's one of his friends. They're fucking with you. Most of them aren't women. They're definitely not your friends. We just like having an inside to your DMs so we can laugh about you on the farms and on YouTube.
It's like you're crying when you should be laughing. But if I inspired you, at least I'm happy. Hit that like, subscribe, and just know that if you deny me, I'm walking away. Because I'm not here to be an option. I'm here to be a priority. Because that's self-respect. And I showed you more respect than any Christian would or could. You're black, maybe. And your boyfriend is white. And he called me the N-word. Check that British fool. He's not who you think he is. You want the devil? Look into the eyes of a Christian.
Like, what the fuck was that even? Yeah, his leaps of logic are just insane. He imagines people calling him slurs all the time, and really, they don't. I'm pretty sure his friends are his left hand and his right hand. Those would probably be the only things he could get to touch him, unless it was like a paid nurse. I don't know what that was, but a lot of his videos that he took on his phone or his Chromebook at that apartment had a lot of background static. I don't know if it was his AC or if it was just like the really shitty mic on his phone, but a lot of his videos from that time period had a lot of static in the background. He's never really had, I mean, I wouldn't expect him to have high quality anything. He's, was living in basically at one point Section 8 housing. Ugh, spammers. But yeah, he was in low income housing. He basically, gets government stipends. I wouldn't expect him to have like a decent mic. But he is. He's making his friends up. On some level, he has to know he doesn't have any friends. But on, another level, he'll fall for anything easily. If your profile looks legit and you're nice to him, and being nice to him means you don't argue with him about anything, he'll just immediately think you're best friends. He would leave within like a day. He would find it too hard and boring. I know his first college round, and Walter's got a video on that in the college saga with some of the memes that Lucas posted to Facebook. But he was complaining that biology was too hard. He wanted to be an astrobiologist, and he was complaining that it was too hard. Ask what? You got to pay him for a mic. I mean, to be fair, I've got this. What the fuck did this thing cost me? Like $30. This is a trash mic that has a trash tripod that I'm just holding. Right now, I don't think Lucas could be lured much at all. The one that lured him to LA really actually scared him, like, a lot. He legit thought he was going to die on the streets of LA because he got Ubered into basically Skid Row. Yeah, he gets that. Like, people will say that people will make up Gen Z slang that's not really slang or that's like out of times. He will fall for anything if he thinks you're Gen Z and you tell him something's a trend or something's popular, or it's really popular with Gen Z to do this. A lot of Gen Z do this. All Gen Z do this. He'll believe it really fast. He easily could have died. He got real fucking lucky that he didn't get himself murdered on Skid Row. But yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, Lucas is super easy to lead. If I go back far enough, and I probably shouldn't point out exactly which videos and memes because he might remember the old DMs on the old account that he had. I think he forgot who I was at one point. But a lot of his memes where he was talking about certain aspects of religion or certain aspects of animal behavior came from conversations he had with me. And when he was saying correct things, like correcting his own memes, that was where I had been correcting him in DMs. And the weird thing about that is lately, if I'm really careful how I word correcting him when he's wrong about something in public, and I don't correct him in public because he would freak out, but if I word it correctly, he started doing shit where he like thanks me for educating him, which is really weird because typically he would just like before, like on his old accounts, he would just throw a complete and utter fit and then like soft block me. I wouldn't be surprised if he did either, but hey, if you start mentioning him in videos again, I'm sure he'll be back in his mouth fast enough. But yeah, and medicated too. I think the medication he's on is like fucking with his brain because his memory's worse than usual. Yeah, no, he doesn't really ever learn, and he never really will correct himself publicly either. Yeah, he does take credit for any corrections, or when he like does a meme that's slightly corrected or slightly different. That's something he thought up, and that's a thought that he had, and a thought that So he'd never give anyone else credit for anything. It's all him. Well, he thinks it's all him anyway. I wonder if he's done anything different. He would think he was going to summer camp and have a grand old time till he actually got to a labor camp. I'm surprised he honestly hasn't been catfished overseas at this point, but I suppose nobody would really want to pay for that. Yeah, he hasn't really posted anything on Instagram for a while, or an hour ago, and it was somebody else's meme. I don't want to go back to that game. I'm not even gonna download that game video and put it up here. It was just such a pointless waste of 2 minutes. Just a complete and utter waste of 2 minutes. I wonder if I've got any other interesting old ones while I'm still here and the dog is being asleep. There was the one where he told... Oh, so this is... I'm going to open this one up here. It's got the thing where he spits in the camera in it. I actually should have done that one last night. But there was another one here where he sort of admitted to... chatting with a 17-year-old. Oh God, what is that? My own thumbnails creep me out sometimes. I'll be scrolling through and just find a thumbnail of Lucas giving crazy eyes to the camera, and it startles me because he's really, really creepy. There's one where I called him greedy. He didn't get as mad at me as he gets at Walter for calling him greedy. I don't know, Walter, you calling him greedy just like triggers the fuck out of him, and it's kind of great. The one where he ate a whole zucchini, the gulag one. Oh, I found not the one I was looking for, but the this was from a really old one, and I'm pretty sure this was on his Lucas Werner channel, but I could be wrong on that one. But he's reading from something that he had written down. And it's biology, but it's incorrect. And it's like so wildly incorrect. That's not the right thing. That's my YouTube thing. Hey, Waterfox, where'd we go? If you make me download my own video and put it up in VLC, which I'm not going to fight with Waterfox tonight. I'll just download my own damn video. Occasionally, if I add a new tab to Waterfox, then OBS apparently freaks out. So, the zucchini one, actually, no, it was just like a big raw zucchini, and he was eating it on camera like it was just a giant dick. Yeah, Lucas is like, oh, the licking that's the one with the toilet seat pissing too. Yeah, no, that's a bad one. Yeah, that was the toilet seat pissing one. Is also the one where he licked deodorant at the end in the dark, and then he will deny that he did that. Well, what the hell is that thumbnail? Jesus Christ! Some of these thumbnails. The racial slurs and bad hygiene. I'm gonna have to. I'll link that video in the chat, actually. But yeah, the video I'm actually gonna link is him just being gross. It's the one where he's just like pissing all over the bathroom. He quote unquote washes his hands like literally by running them under water for 2 whole seconds. Literally by running them under water for 2 whole. But yeah, this video is just nasty. It starts out with a bunch of memes that are full of slurs, because this was in his phase where he's like, I'm going to say the N-word until I get a girlfriend, and that doesn't ever work. So apparently he's just going to say that word forever. I don't know. I don't know why he thinks that'll work, but every now and then he gets back on the thing of, I'm going to say racial slurs until someone fucks me. Okay. Hey. What the hell? Oh my god, this one is huge.
I'm pretty good at insults.
Yeah, you're pretty good at insults. Why is VLC off my screen? There we go. That one actually was one that... the intergenerational pattern one was one he did on his phones, and I didn't resize it when I made it, so it fit in my window. The one that I downloaded is one that I made, so it doesn't actually fit in the window because it's goddamn huge. I'm really bad about resizing my resolutions. I mean, this one is super short, but pay really close attention to Lucas explaining how new plants grow, because it's honestly amazing.
You look at all fruit trees. The seeds have to come from a rotting fruit to go in the ground for there to be a sapling. And then the young pollen pollinates. For apple trees, the apple rots. The seeds go into the ground as sapling comes up, and the bees transfer pollen from the female part of the plant, which is the flower, to the sapling, which comes from the seed, which is the male part of the plant. Younger female, older male is the pattern. And you could look at that and you say, well, yeah, I guess we shouldn't breed because we're just going to have interagial. That's like trying to justify incest. Excuse you. You're retarded.
You're scaring the hell out of me, man.
That was his big old head from the laying on the floor days of before Pioneer Pathway. But this is a person who thinks he was going to get a PhD in genetics. And that is how he explained how plant reproduction works. Oh, that was a weird place to pause. Yeah, that's short, but that is great, because he clearly does not understand how it works. At that apartment, he used to sometimes he was using a Kindle to record at the time. He used to lay it on the floor, and sometimes he would stand over it and like lean over it, because he figured from some pickup artist that when you have your camera low and you're leaning over it, it makes you seem large and dominant. He wants daddy-daughter, like literal daddy-daughter. It's definitely incest. Hi, pup. You're so cute. He's sleeping in a weird position. That was part of why Lucas got run off FetLife. Was just for creeping on young women. But he said before, and I mentioned this before, that he has said that he wants a daughter specifically because he likes being called daddy. So we don't know how that would go. But the dog is giving me eyes, and it's past his bedtime, so I think we're gonna end this one here with Lucas's bad biology and the thought that Lucas wanted a daughter simply because he liked the idea of a little girl calling him daddy. Sweet dreams with that one.